So millions of cardholders across 3,000 banks globally use Ondot to control their payment cards and manage their spend. We see that cardholders are avid advocates of the solution in their social circle. So today, we introduce a capability that enables banks to use the social network in order to create a viral effect to drive customer adoption. So I will show you 3 customer experiences in the demo today. Number 1, make it ridiculously simple to refer a friend and onboard a new user in just a couple of minutes. Number 2, create a compelling value proposition for gift cards to give to friends over an app. And number 3, enable banks to use gift card recipients and convert them into account holders. So let's start the demo now. Excellent. Thank you. So what you see here is VB's application. VB is a cardholder of Lock and Key Bank, and he loves his card. So he can manage his spend, and he can control his cards. VB wants to talk about this card to all of his friends, and he goes down on the offers, and he sees that the bank is giving him an offer of $25 to refer each friend. So VB wants to invite Gary over Facebook Messenger, because VB and Gary are contacts there, and see this, right? So VB essentially invites Gary and sends the invite over to Gary. So now, can we switch to line 2, please? So let's look at Gary's experience. This is VB's friend. So Gary just got an invite on Facebook Messenger, and this is the application or a link to a card that VB's been talking about all the time, and it looks really compelling. So Gary's intrigued, and he wants in. So he says, sure, I'd like to check in. And now Gary has to do 2 steps. The first one is take a picture of a ID, and the second one is to take a short selfie. So one of the key things here is that Gary doesn't have to really position this card exactly so. Our technology deals with that. So it's not like it has to come in a particular frame. Now he can take a 5-second video and essentially look at this, and then send it over. Now, essentially, 2 things are happening on the back end. So Gary essentially got the ability to get a card, and he can now either download the app and use his Facebook credentials, or he can create his own separate credentials. So essentially, that's what happened here. So I'm going to log in with the credentials that were created for Gary here. Let's double check that. And now Gary gets to onboard the new application. Now Gary is logged in. The application walks him through the setup. So he begins a quick setup. It enables him to control his card, so it only works around him for card-present transactions. For card-not-present transactions, it creates the online domain so that for preferred merchants, he can use virtual card number and dynamic CVV. Hey, and he can even enroll into Apple Pay, essentially leveraging the credentials and authorization that has already been provided to him by the bank. So at this point, what Gary has done is essentially added the card to his wallet, and he's ready to go. And because he's added the card to his wallet, he can basically go do tap and pay as well as online transactions. And you just see the notification came from the wallet that says it was enrolled. Now Gary can set advanced controls around location, merchant type, transaction type, and spend limits. And you see for transaction type, e-commerce and tap and pay have already been enabled. Once Gary gets his physical card and activates it, then in-store transactions can also be enabled. So Gary is super pleased. Now he remembers that he has to send a gift offer to his friend Rachna because it's her birthday. So Gary says, send, that's a lot, send $50. And this is an interesting card because the unique thing about this card is that it's a virtual card that is tied to his account. So Gary's account gets debited only when Rachna makes a purchase. So he doesn't lose if she doesn't use, and effectively he's leveraging the breakage as opposed to a merchant in sort of a traditional world. So Gary says, happy birthday, and sends this over to Rachna. Can we switch over to link 3, please? Now, if you look at Rachna's experience, she got this gift card, and she wants to check it out, and here is the card. She's onboarding it, and as a part of onboarding, she can say either use Facebook credentials or use a new credential. So she's going to onboard with the app, and she can get enabled. The most interesting thing is that once she gets into the app and she gets enabled into it, she has the ability to sign up and essentially become an account owner for the bank itself. So what you see here is the ability for 3 things. First off, an avid cardholder to advocate the solution. The second, a new cardholder to get enabled within a couple of minutes. And third, the ability to give a quick gift and actually use an offer within the gift to become a cardholder for the bank. So that's really the power of digital engagement combined with social networks and customer control. Thanks a lot.